Positive isn't often easy when facing chronic illness. After being told he had only months to live, Eric Borstein defied the odds by combining medical treatment with emotional resilience. For Mental Health Awareness Month, he joins us to share how support and perspective helped him rebuild his life. Eric, thank you so very much for your time today. So can you briefly share your journey and what you brought here today?
Yeah, thank you for having me. 5.5 years ago, I was at home, collapsed, and spent 16 days in the intensive care unit at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, where I was diagnosed with a very rare chronic terminal disease called pulmonary arterial hypertension, a disease with no cure.
That's incredible. That had to have absolutely been terrifying. So you made a conscious decision to prioritize your mental well-being alongside treatment. So what prompted that shift, and how did you shape your recovery?
So when I came home, I learned that very early on that walking helped mitigate both the side effects of the medication that I was on, but also helped with positive mental health. You know, ever since I left the hospital, I talked to a psychologist once a week. And I've learned that dealing with a chronic terminal disease is difficult. It can be isolating. And really, you know, one of the messages that I like to share is, for anybody dealing with any sort of adversity, any disease, dealing with your mental health is as critical and as important as the medications that you may be on. And you know, the other thing that I learned was positive mental health is really as simple as finding something you love to do. And for me, that was walking.
That's incredible. I honestly, I can't even really imagine. I've had, you know, obviously relatives who have passed away with terminal illness and stuff like that, and watching them as they try to struggle with mental health is incredible. So what advice would you give patients and caregivers trying to support both physical and emotional well-being, you know, while managing a chronic illness?
So I attribute my recovery to what I call pieces of my pie: modern day medicine, positive mental health, good nutrition, exercise, and my village. You know, my village consists of my family, friends, neighbors, community, doctors, and my CVS specialty team. You know, from day one, I had a nurse coming through Quorum who was really just a reassuring, guiding voice for my family, for my wife, for my kids. And one of the other lessons that I really, from my own journey, that I like to relay to others is, no matter what you're dealing with, no matter what form of adversity you may be facing, you too aren't alone. You know, living with a chronic terminal disease, find an online support group, find other people that may be dealing with things. But, you know, again, any adversity can lead to isolation. Isolation can lead to depression. And to be able to mitigate that and deal with that positive mental health is critical, and that village has just played an instrumental role in my recovery.
That's fantastic. I'm so glad that you have that support group. So you mentioned walking as part of your recovery, but over time, you know, it became something bigger, and you earned the nickname the Walking Guy. So how did that daily habit turn into a mission?
So early on, again, I realized that walking equated to positive mental health and mitigating the side effects. I walked 1 to 5 miles. Eventually, I now walk 13 to 15 miles a day, upwards of 5,000 miles a year. And I've been nicknamed the Walking Guy, and that's become part of my identity. That identity has led to a movement called Wear ZB, where I walk all over the country raising awareness for this disease and raising money for an organization called Team Phenomenal Hope that supports people living with pulmonary hypertension that need it most.
That's incredibly impressive. That is so many miles. Like, I'm lucky if I can get in like 2 or 3 in a day. That's really amazing. So, hey, before I let you go, where can we go to learn some more information?
You can go to wearzb.org, cvshealth.com, or on social media on Instagram, wearzb.
Fantastic. Eric, thank you so very much for your time this morning. I really do appreciate it. And folks at home, if you want to watch this segment again or others like it, just head over to First Coast News Plus.